What's up, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to American Gods. We're talking Season 2, Episode 2, The Beguiling Man. We're on a quest because Shadow's been kidnapped, but can Laura rescue him in time? And is there something brewing between Mad Sweeney and Laura? I've been shipping that for a while. And we get to see a little bit of technological boy trying to get media back, but who knows what's going to happen? Stay tuned.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
What's up, and welcome to American Gods After Show. What's up, God Squad? Hashtag New Gods, Old Gods. Which one are you repping? Oh my gosh, we did that on Twitter.
Yeah, so
I know,
far
right?
I think those old gods are way ahead. I'm just saying.
We should maybe do a poll.
We should do a poll on Twitter, see what's up.
Yes. We're talking The Beguiling Man, Episode 2. My name is Kari Lane, and I'm joined by my awesome co-host.
Hey, I'm Flobo. Thanks for having me.
What do you think this episode?
Awesome. It was as far as like the action, it kind of slowed down to a pace. We
True.
got some development of why was Shadow abducted today, and the breaking up and pairing of the groups was pretty fun.
Yes. I love the flashbacks. That was fun of like, oh, a little more pieces in the puzzle.
Sure. And his young Shadow's complexion was aces.
Yeah.
It was like smooth, moisturized, props.
Yes, he's like lotion.
Yeah.
Clean that skin. We are also live while you're watching this, listening. Join us in the YouTube live chat. Welcome. And if you're watching it later, please comment down below. Love all your comments on episode 1. It was so fun reading everybody's theories about what's going on and thoughts on what's going to happen. If you have read the book, please don't get ahead on stuff because we don't want to spoil it. And we're talking about the show.
You got Trent and Adam and Morales in the chat, and you are in the chat, so that's good.
Yay! And a couple others, we can see you're there. You're just being quiet. It's okay.
Sounds like you're there.
Just gonna sit back. You're gonna wait. Yeah. So at the beginning, we got our abducted Shadow with Mr. Town, which was interesting, and I want more info. Who's this Mr. Town? What are your abilities, sir?
Yeah, Mr. Town is so the actor Dean Winters is amazing, whatever he does, but he's just so compelling. It's like, okay, he can twirl the mustache if need be, but there's a reason why he's doing it, and he wants to understand what Shadow's Alliance is about, and he does it the best way possible. Torture, right?
And and I'm like, because as if Shadow's gonna be, yes, I know exactly what this is and everything, but. Spoiler, but not spoiler, getting ahead. It's interesting when they're like, why does Shadow and Wednesday, why are they together? There's some other abstract things of how they can be together. Nobody's like throwing those out there.
Oh, no, yeah. It's kind of being teased a bit, but now we'll say that it's been like a stamp. Like, this is the deal.
Yeah. But I just love that bad guys don't think of other options. They go, well, why? Why does he like you?
Right.
Okay. Because your torture is totally working, dude.
He friended me on Facebook, so I had to represent.
Yeah. We'll go through Shadow's bits. That just totally sounds inappropriately awesome.
Hey, it's an adult show. It's
dude,
cool.
he's shirtless at opening. Yes.
I know.
He's shirtless at opening scene. It's like, oh hey, what's up?
Yeah, I definitely regretted having the cheeseburger last night for dinner. So
You're like, get those crunches in.
It's like Shadow crunches.
So he has no family records besides his wife and his mom.
Yeah. No kids, no dad.
Yeah. Grew up in France, which is interesting, which means he speaks as a white guy.
Yeah. Can I talk about that for a second?
Yes, please.
So I grew up in Brooklyn in the 90s, and I understand that because I got in trouble for having a certain kind of timbre to my voice. But I have never seen a fight escalate that quickly to be like, France, huh? Punch. And
it seems so out of nowhere. You're just walking by. It's not even like he was talking much. Just like, hi, my name's Shadow.
Get his pool. Stop.
Oh my gosh, he's in our territory. I mean, I guess the mom sets it up a little bit of, there's territories in different areas, but it did feel like it escalated very quickly.
I know time is limited, but I felt like, it was on rails. It was nuts.
That was never
that was like, wait, what? Yeah, it's usually you do something crazy or wear the wrong color or something like that. But
well, it could have been escalated too because he does clearly look mixed, which maybe could incite more, but then would you be more lenient because then you're not...
Yeah. I feel like as someone growing up in that neighborhood, you always ask who do you know first before you make a judgment. So he's kind of like, hi, I'm Shadow. It's like stab. It's like, what?
We don't like you. Rah! Right. There you go. That's what they do. I like that cargo is a code word or name for Wednesday. I'm all cargo.
Yeah.
Do you have any theories on that? Because I don't.
I don't either. It was kind of odd. It came out of left field, but I'm willing to see where it goes down for sure.
Trent King in the chat. Am I the only one who hates flashback episodes? Oh, never mind. I guess so. No, I loved it. I do feel flashbacks can be utilized very well and very poorly.
Sure.
I think these small segments were enough to give us context for Shadow. Did we necessarily need all of it? No. But it was more interesting to know about his mom.
Right.
And someone who visited in the hospital. That's where the juicy segments are.
I completely agree. I personally don't like it when a season's going and it stops for an entire throwback episode. But right here we have the story going forward in this. I'm totally ready to rock with it.
ABK88 says, Mr. Town, Mr. Mayhem from the insurance commercials.
Same
LOL.
guy.
Right.
Get Allstate. Sap.
And, oh yes, Mr. Town is saying, you know, why, Shadow? Why do you want to do this? You just always go with the flow. And I love Shadow just throwing it back. He's all, well, I just guess I have a curious spirit. And their little cat joke and then laugh and then awkward torture again.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I get it. Like, you know, you really have nowhere to go. So you can only do is crack jokes and hope he's not going to be like, oh, you got me. Oh, come on down, Shadow. You know, he's going to do it even more. So.
He's like, oh, what a good response, sir.
You got me there. Well played.
And then, why are you so involved? Why are you special? Do you have any theories yet? Because, well, I mean, you haven't read it. You don't know.
Right.
Go for it. What do you think?
You know
why
what?
is he special?
I'm thinking today what we saw with the coin that young Shadow got, and the voice of the coin giver was very similar to a certain character. I can infer there may be a link there that hasn't been discussed, if you mean daddy issues. But that is my theory so far.
I think that with the evidence suggested that, yes, that's a very good hypothesis.
But it's definitely being like, you know, is it? Oh, we don't know. You know, it could be a swerve. We don't know.
True. Okay. Trent King says his mom suggested the other kids prejudge Shadow, thinking he is privileged and somehow special, and envy mixed with fear caused their animosity. True, because she does have the line where I'm like, that's later. With the cops and just like, oh, here it is. You're an enemy in their story, and most people believe things that are lies. Oh, hashtag truth, right? You're just like, oh, drop the mic, Mom. You had such good.
Mom is just so insightful. It's almost like it was the perfect reference for Shadow, having someone who was so level-headed, understanding the world as the way it was, and even keeping her tone when Shadow was fighting, and she was like disappointed, but not to the point of being like, "How dare you, smack!" You know, she was very like loving and forgiving and nurturing, and danced with him and stuff.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
that was such a sweet scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, we learn also more about that light.
Yes.
The light, which I'm all, wait, is this the literal light that Laura sees later too? I'm thinking.
You think so?
Maybe.
Okay.
But the thing is, to our knowledge, she's human.
All right.
And she says, you have the light, and how do you know? Because I gave it to you, and I gave it to you every day. So, but, you know, humans could have more abilities than we take for granted, or, you know, or we do take it for granted, so maybe there's more to that. Oh, yeah. That's also where we get the line with his flashback of best stay in your lane. Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Which is a thing that's come back in social media lately, too.
Yeah, I know, right? Everything. I love the fact that they do pull what's happening outside and makes it that much more relevant and accessible.
Yes.
But stay in your lane, perfect.
Dude, I'm like, what is... Well, nope, don't know what that note is. It's like you're writing fast and go. Yes, the hospital... Our mysterious visitor. Mom's not very.
How did you like or not like the way Shadow realizes that his mother has been like inflicted with cancer?
They imply, because they're like oncology ward and do the announcer, so they don't necessarily say right away.
Right.
I think it shows their connection because he sees her essentially drained, and then he knows, oh, shit just got real. Sure. And it's serious, and goes there and hugs her. And I like that.
It was definitely a unique way of doing it, only because just a minute before he got the coin, and there's a bit of like elation of, wow, what's this magic trick I'm going to learn? And then, bam. It almost seems every time Shadow gets ahead, there's always something that comes out. And that was the perfect scene for that.
Well, because I think it would have been cheesy of the Shadow. I have cancer.
The room, it's definitely cancer.
Like, no, I like the non-dialogue of it.
Fair enough.
It showed their connection. They don't even need to say something. I do like that he can't really stand aside when the kid was getting beat up, but it is you're just looking for a fight right now because you're hurting inside, so you need something else to hurt.
Yeah.
And I like his mom kind of got that though, of like, well, you're not wrong.
Sure, right. There's always like defending someone, then there's like that giant haymaker
Yes.
punch that like knocked that guy's jaw to the left side of his face, Daffy Duck style. You know what I'm saying?
Well, because there was like that other hit once the guy was on the ground, and
Right. That was like
that was the next step too far. Yes, I think it's a noble cause trying to stop the fight and trying to defend this person, but then you took the extra anger further. I did like the other guy kind of standing on the wall. Oh no, dude, I'm good.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I was looking for
you're
the
all
bus,
good, man.
yeah.
I'm not gonna get in a fight with you. And Mr. Town also then goes into, the new gods have brought good things to people, which is all right, fine, modern technology and all those
Penicillin,
things.
yeah.
And yes, penicillin, very useful. And the old gods are just relics. It's like, yes, but they have history and texture and culture.
Right.
And it's something that shouldn't necessarily be forgotten. So, hashtag new gods, old gods. I'd say I'm a little bit more team old gods, but
Right.
I think it's the promise. The new gods are just being so snarky about it. Of you're not joining our team, join our team or die. Like meh attitude. It's let's combine forces and become even greater.
Yeah, you know, to be honest with you, if you look at Shadow's progression, you would think he's like OG old gods forever. What? But seeing his mother deteriorate and him ending in that church, like an old god basically failed him. Like not in the more literal sense,
Yeah.
but like, hey, what's this faith means if my mom is not here? So like, I think Shadow realized that when he opened his eyes or whatever, being like, oh, this is definitely a much more fluid decision than just being like, well, I'm rolling with the old gods because this guy's paying me.
I also think it's gonna circle back later.
Yeah.
In terms of if he finds he had an ability or someone in his life had an ability, it's the, well, why didn't you save my mom? Calling it, that's not really a prediction, but it's one of those, I feel like that's one of those, I feel they've set that up, and part of me doesn't really want that because that feels so cliche.
Yeah.
In terms of, you have powers and you were part of my life and you didn't save this person I cared about. It's like, oh, please don't do that.
Yeah, the whole Aladdin genie thing. Well, it is
Yeah.
some rules and arbitrary things
Yeah.
and all that thing. Yeah.
They ask about the snow, but it's like, think of snow and then it happened, which, do you have a theory on how that happened then? Of how could he do that, or don't know yet?
Premonitions? I don't know yet, but you know.
Because it can happen too, where it's like, wait, I don't have enough information to make my thoughts yet, because we just know some weird things happened.
Right.
Yep. Trent King says, I like how they showed how Shadow is always brave, even when he took his CD player back and ran with it. Oh, love that too. I'm like, get it, run!
Yeah, the old Discman trick. Yeah, man,
Yes.
props.
But the cops too, then that was a bummer too.
Yeah.
Also, another mom hashtag mom truth, I guess.
Mom
We'll
truth.
be starting all these new
He's at the
hashtags.
chat. Hashtag mom truth.
No matter how dark the world gets, your light will always be shining. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, that's a good life lesson too. Of there are plenty of horrible things that happen in the world, but that doesn't mean we should be giving up and not have our own inner light and try to help spread that. Aha!
Oh, yeah.
I feel that's all the more you know.
Right.
A real rainbow.
Virtues that illuminate all. Compassion and
exactly.
values and justice and all that stuff.
Yes. And then we'll hold on him there because then other people join him. Only quick one to Wednesday and Anansi. I love Anansi too.
There's your
He's
sitcom
so
spinoff right there.
Yes.
The road tripping with Anansi. Chicken, what the?
Oh, he's like not happy about it.
Yeah. And to be fair, those were like overly sauced. I'm just being honest with you. I wouldn't eat those.
Okay, I was going to
Yeah.
ask him, like, okay, well, I mean, on the argument of practicality,
Right.
that is an easy item to grab and eat while driving. Yes, it's messy on your hands and all,
Right.
but I mean, I guess sandwiches? Would
Chicken
he have wanted sandwiches?
Fried chicken, maybe, but
You
that
know?
thing with the extra like goop on it, you're just kind of like, I gotta hold the wheel, and then
Yeah.
it was kind of weird. But you could tell Nancy was not feeling it. Just dumped the
No.
bucket and was like, let's just keep going.
Did he want prime rib while he was driving? I'm like, what are you expecting?
It is weird. It made the whole spider reference and then gave him some kind of. I think he'd be a vegetarian or some sort, like or an insect or like.
Oh, I was like, no, they eat the bugs.
Yeah.
Or, well, I don't know. Maybe some spiders
Insectivore.
eat fruit or something.
Okay, who knows?
I feel, yeah.
Spiders eating chickens is kind of weird. I'm just thinking about that.
There are some spiders that are big, though, that they can kill birds, I think. So
What? Nightmare fuel.
Australia, like big spiders.
Well, everything's big in Australia. like,
You're like,
yeah, it's just over there. Yeah.
But I like that, and it's because we had some other race references in the show, so I felt the fried chicken was a fun way to approach a stereotype, and
Sure.
then the character be like,
Really, bro?
That's what you got? Yeah. And sacrificing Betty.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says, "Oh, Betty, you've done great, and this will get you to Valhalla." And I hadn't thought of objects being as part of the gods' entourage, if you will, or even if that could have been an animal before that represents as a car now, like your literally loyal steed becomes a vehicle.
Right.
That makes sense.
That was a very cool dynamic. I know sometimes I officiate weddings, and you do a Catholic wedding, you can do a prayer for vehicles for prosperity. But like it was kind of cool because, yeah, it wasn't just an object anymore. It was definitely everything had a soul at some point, and he gave it the whole 9 yards. It wasn't like, all right, car, you know what I mean? He gave it the entire thing. It was awesome.
And Anansi is sitting in the car for so long. If I saw a car was stopped on the train tracks, give me the fuck out.
Exactly.
Like, no.
He's like, well, what y'all doing? I'm going back to K-Bro. I'm out. Like, it's just...
He's like, nope.
You can't be doing all this around me. You know who I am? You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The last AKB.
Oh, ABK88 once said once about the fried chicken incident. Like, really, Mr. Wednesday fried chicken? I know, right? But after that, he or she says, how about the end credits song of Black Betty with the tribute to the car?
That.
I thought it was pretty cool. It was a classic version, too. It wasn't just like rocked up and overdone. It was definitely like the somber-ish version of Black Betty. The thoughtful version of it,
So I liked that with our train, which was fun, and they didn't really have a lot going on in this episode. All right. Though, at the beginning, we have our Chernobyl and wanting to perform rites, but there are no believers, and that means you have no life. So, da da da. There we go. That's our da da da. Yes.
I love it.
We got our Steve making our sound effects. Thank you, Steve.
Hey.
Yeah, because it's if you have no god, if the gods have no believers, that means they essentially are dead. Like, done.
And that definitely was an actual use of that. Because, you think about that in theory. Oh, those are the stakes. If no one believes in me, I disappear. But here's an example of Chernobyl saying, hey, look what happened, your war. And Kali wasn't happy with it either. Like, this is happening. Whether we like it or not, we're being drawn to this thing. And, well, what's our next step?
What do you think of, I've noticed that, though, that I'm like, dude, that's totally Kali. But they only call her Mama G.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm curious on if it's a purposeful, like literally not trying to reference that god, though visually we're like, that's who it looks like.
I think it's definitely a possibility of calling gods out by their names, but at the same time, she does have that kind of, she knows her skills. She has that overseeing look of the tactical conscience, if you will, that group.
Yeah, I'm curious what more she'll do. I kind of liked her. I don't know how I felt about the joke of, yes, I'm totally with you if someone can cover my shift. Kind of funny, but kind of killed the steam of, I am so cool, this god of destruction, I have work.
Right.
But that's maybe where these gods are, of like, I am epic and great, but I live in a modern world.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I actually enjoyed it, but now you said it again, it's like, wait a minute, that is kind of cheesy.
It was a little bit, And then, I tweeted at her, and she liked my tweet.
What?
I was all
awesome.
Senpai noticed me.
That's
so
awesome.
I was, shout out to
I was a fan of
What's up, Mama
Timeless,
G? Then we have our Laura and Shadow, which, actually, before we get to them, I was like, one of our other quick stories, our side characters. We have Bilquis and Mr. World.
Yes.
Tell
me about it.
That betrayal. I'm not terribly surprised.
Is it betrayal,
right? Who's playing double agent? And it's one of those hashtag... disappointed, not surprised.
Disappointed, not surprised. Fair enough.
Because he goes, oh, yeah, your pitch, they didn't like it. And pretty much she goes, I'm not going to fight for you. And then he points out, which we were saying too, if you're not picking a side, you're going to get trampled in the middle.
Right.
So do you think she's playing for herself or double agent or what?
If I were able to speculate, it's very easy to think that Bilquis would be the center of the pull because she's able to go between both worlds. But there's something that tells me deep down in my cold black heart that she's going to be in it for herself. Not in a bad way, but definitely is going to be, whatever serves her interests first is going to be tantamount. So I don't think she's going to a straight blind allegiance, but I do think she's going to play both sides for as long as she can before she makes her final decision.
I think so too. I feel she's not going to be picking a side because she doesn't need to choose one yet.
Right.
But I don't know. I think she's been through enough that she's like, I don't want to fight.
Yeah,
not like that.
Totally fair.
Not that kind. I want to get my worship. That's what I want. Which we had seen our pseudo trailer for next time of like gods are suffering from worship. It's like I'm looking for the name.
Adam Morales in chat says Bilquis is trying to play both sides. So
yes, I think so. Makes love not war. Yes, Neon Parchment. That's a good one. Sakima Jaffrey. Thank you. There we go. That's the name of the actress for Mama G. So she knows me on Twitter.
Yeah.
I feel special.
Watched her on Timeless. Love that show.
Yes, I loved her on Timeless.
Yeah.
So, Sakima, if you want to come in, Miss
Got a chair
Jaffrey,
for
we'd
you.
love to have you. So then, yes, I think, yeah, I don't know. I want to trust Bilquist, but she also is somebody that I don't know how much you want to trust her. Of like, well, you gonna die in ecstasy or not?
Yeah, because she's good at that for sure.
There's that. Let's see. I think the other side bit we have is Technology Boy looking for media. And I do like that he says, you're not going to even ghost me in my own world.
Yes.
Yay, modern slang of ghosting people.
Okay.
And
Do you ghost people? You go to parties, you just peace out? You don't tell the people you're coming?
Well, it's St. Patrick's Day. That's the Irish exit.
Okay, for sure.
Depends. I wouldn't do it where... I generally am that person of like say hi and then say bye.
Yeah.
Unless it's I'll text you, call you later.
Okay.
But no, not normally.
Yeah,
and
for
if
me-
so, it is because maybe I forgot.
I'll do it if it's more than 50 people. If it's like a giant party, peace. If
Yeah.
it's like your wedding, I'm not going to be like...
Yeah.
But to your point, sorry, I'll get off topic here. I like the fact that media and technology are interplaying because they are pretty much the link at the hip and being able to say, hey, look, you can sit there and say you're not going to help, but we're going to need your help, and I'll give you your time to think about it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, he didn't want to push her too hard, but it's one of those, you run on my binary. pretty much.
Exactly.
I was like, oh, yes, like he's the zeros and ones, create the technology for you to exist. Yeah.
That's the one.
And media's not ready yet, which this is why we probably are getting new media, which we've talked about a little bit.
Yeah.
Which we'll talk about our theories about that in a little bit. All right, so now the last big people we have is our Laura and Mad Sweeney.
Which you ship, by the way.
I totally ship
What?
that.
It's dead wife. I mean, it's his husband.
It's dead
That's
wife.
just-
Yes. It's one of those, I kind of agree that Shadow's probably too good for her, but they're such a fun, horrible couple together.
Yes, they are. That
That
is
is
definitely
so
true.
fun to watch.
Agreed.
Do you ship Mad Sweeney and Laura? Do you think they are going to be a thing? But the thing right now, he likes her way more than she even thinks of him.
Right. But at the same time, Laura's doing the thing because it's a mission. I'm doing it for Shadow. Not like, he's my husband in my heart. It's like, well, yeah, okay, we're doing that. Yeah, for sure. I don't quite ship them yet. But I will say, when they held each other, when they went to the Horde, I was like, maybe.
Oh, dude, the flowers in the field. Him
Yeah.
sitting with her and how he looked at her.
Yeah.
Yes. Right? We'll get to that.
real.
So, they're paired up again. They're going to go find Shadow, which we said. And then, I love that she says, in all of this that she's been witnessing, she's still an atheist. God is a fairy tale because gods aren't really the gods because they were made by people.
I mean, yeah, but you're in the car with you know what I mean?
Someone
Like-
who's not a normal human.
Right, you're like, wait a minute, y'all people ain't even real. Like, it's so weird. She's gonna come around. I almost
I think she
guarantee
will.
something will happen and she'll come
Yes.
around.
Because how could you not believe they exist? But I guess that's the idea that they didn't exist outside of humans creating them.
Right.
I guess she has a point, but it's still like, but you've seen all of this, and
Yeah.
you're still gonna say, "Oh no, I don't believe in any of that."
All these figments and,
Yeah.
and constructs.
Oh man,
Hashtag
that flat.
no gods, apparently.
The what?
Hashtag no gods, apparently?
Yes,
Interesting.
that's the other one. The flat tire and more bad luck, and man, she is not doing too hot.
Yeah, so they avoided a cow and then ran over a nail. Like, that
Yes.
to me was a double whammy from hell. But
Yes.
yeah, and she had to lift the car up, like, with
And
her own
couldn't
bare
really
hands.
do it. Well, because with the last season, she was able to get the ice cream truck and flip it over, no big deal. This one, she's doing the car. I feel she is losing energy, power, steam, whatever it is that's keeping her superpowered is dwindling.
Oh yeah, for sure. And she did
I'm
not
worried
survive.
about
I mean, she like retched and like
Yes.
threw up right after that
Yes.
too. Again, that makes you wonder how much like energy or how much time she has. Hasn't been addressed literally yet, but it's definitely something in the background for sure.
Yeah, I'm concerned for that because then when they get to we'll hold that thought. I'm like, wait, we're not there yet. With the road just ending was so bizarre.
Okay.
So weird, right? When they just start driving and the road stops.
Yeah, it was kind
I
of like
didn't really see any signs either of like road
it
ending.
was like a symbolism, or
Maybe?
no, it's actually stopping. Okay. You
Well,
know?
it is symbolism because he
Yeah.
said, are you just going to give up? And graveyards are full of flowers. Oh, yeah, I'm just a dead girl. Oh, Laura's losing her steam.
Yeah.
And then he is the one who motivates her.
Yeah.
What? It's
I
like,
know,
where'd that
right?
come from?
Exactly. Push a guy hard enough, he'll actually have a thought of compassion or whatever. A light, maybe. A light for Mad Sweeney on St. Patty's Day.
And they're able to figure it out because there's a shortcut, the backstage, the Horde, which, oh my goodness, read what Neon Parchment said.
Neon Parchment says in the chat, they flash images of Mad Sweeney and Laura making love when they went through the Horde.
I need to go back and rewatch that. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. I didn't notice that. I was like watching them, and I didn't really notice the background.
It's hard to notice that when they were screaming at the top of their lungs, going through time and space, right? Oh, yeah.
And luckily, they ended not off of the bridge, on the edge.
On the edge, yeah.
Right?
I was like, are they gonna okay.
And they jump on the train with Shadow. So, yay, they've caught up with Shadow.
I mean, Laura jumped. Sweeney was kind of like, oh, man.
Yeah, he's
kind
like,
of just
shit.
tumbled. Like, yeah.
Yes. They get on the train, so we're like, yay. But, man, the fights on the train, she's still not doing good. I was getting worried on these fights of, oh, no, is she going to keep falling apart? Does she need to go back and get with Horace? And I'm like, oh, the guys, the brothers, well,
right.
The mortuary, get like
Anubis
redone up.
yeah.
Yes, thank you. I don't know, because the coin shouldn't have changed its output, if you will.
Correct.
So I don't know why. I guess it's just longer, but I guess they kind of said like you're gonna rot.
Right, and I chalked it up to her like exerting herself earlier too.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she still kicks some butt, right?
Oh, she still kicked butt.
Yeah. Bones are cracking everywhere.
Yes. Oh, stepping on the face. There we go. Here's our bone crunch. We got bone crunch. Yes.
Yeah, that was gruesome.
That foot down on the face. It was like.
Yeah, that is not a show for kids. I tell you that.
Yes. And but then Shadow sees it and gets to see how brutal she is. Oh man, and her going, well, I had to save you.
Yeah.
I'm worried that could be a thing too. If Shadow's, okay, woman, you're very scary.
Right. When I'm done being tortured, I'm going to talk about this later on.
We're gonna have a chat.
Yeah.
And then, oh, that was a thing. When we see the train crash, did you notice we got to see the train crash in Odin's eye?
Yes.
That was super cool.
So that's what I was thinking back to what we were saying
Yes.
earlier about the old god failing Shadow. But the fact that we got the eulogy for Betty and the train crashed into it, I thought that'd be some sort of energizing for Odin. And I was like, well, what does that mean?
Like a sacrifice to him?
It's
Well, it could
over.
be.
It's
We don't know
next
yet.
week. Yeah. Maybe. Who knows?
I think then Laura and Sweeney getting Shadow, we're good there. So it's like, aha.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on the episode before we go to our special segment and then predictions?
Got a lot of good character beats and chemistry moments there. The main mission is kind of in the background, but I'm hoping next week it comes back full force.
Yeah, I didn't mind these side stories a little bit because we got to highlight some of our other characters, but be curious where it goes.
Yeah.
So our special segment was we're going to be like our DVD extras. So pretty much extra supplemental things that to the show in general. So we're... Aha. So today, one of the things we're going to talk about is casting for the show.
Yeah.
So one of the things that was super interesting that I saw, which you can get on the Blu-ray for season 1, they have a lot of great special features on it. And I got mine from the library, so you don't have to go buy it, though. If you want to, go for it. I highly recommend it, but if you're short on funds, library is your friend. So Ian Mcshane originally read for the role of Chernobyl.
Which would be a whole different show altogether.
Ooh, be so different.
Yeah, I wonder if he was, how that role character would be different. Like I'm thinking about the scenes he had last season and this season, how that'd be different. It's kind of surreal.
And Ian Mcshane said he didn't want that role because he didn't feel like he fit, which we all instantly go, yeah, and even casting goes, But the thing he didn't like about it is because that character's not around enough. And so he was the one who actually said, well, hey, wait, this Mr. Wednesday, I like this guy. He's around a bit more.
Right.
And then casting's like, something right in front of us we hadn't thought of, which I think was awesome.
Shout out to his wherewithal to go into a show and be like, no, I fit better here. Let's give it a shot.
Yes.
And it totally worked out in his favor.
See, ask for what you want. You don't know if it's going to happen or not.
So hashtag truth.
Yes. We got all the
Kari
hashtags on the
truth, that's what it is, yeah.
show. The other fun bit, too, with Emily Browning and our Pablo Schreiber is, one, he's 6'5".
Huge.
To her, 5'2".
Not as huge.
No. And she wears these boots, and she was saying how she has to be on all these Apple boxes so they can be in the same shot and everything. So if you have no idea what that is, it's pretty much little boxes to help with height and adjustments. So I think that's adorable, but that makes their pairing so funny.
Oh, yeah. I mean, even when she's on the Apple box, I assume, like, Sweeney is so large, it's almost like a cartoon based on how weird they
compared
are.
to her.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that some other shorter actors have their lift in their shoes, and they do the Apple boxes too, or they shoot the camera angles up a certain way, and it's pretty cool.
Also, Pablo Schreiber, our Mad Sweeney, is half brother to Liv Schreiber.
Oh, Ray Donovan himself. How about that?
So I was like, oh, hey, interesting.
My half brother is Sabretooth.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Also, he is not a ginger. I'm slightly disappointed.
So what is his natural color?
He's not a redhead. So
What is his natural color then?
it's like dark brown.
Dark.
They did it. The hair department
Oh, yeah.
have done a great job because he looks gorgeous as a redhead. All that red going on.
Beautiful man, sure.
Yes.
But
He's
wait,
also good looking.
so dark brown. I
Yeah.
can't picture that. I feel
I was
like
like, go look him up.
yeah, we're looking him up right now, and I guess it exists, but I don't know.
He also looks good with a beard.
Yes,
He's one of those people that you're like, oh, you kind of look better with a beard.
So does co-host of the show. Totally looks better with the beard.
I don't know if y'all noticed his hair is not the spiky from season 1. It's a little more flat.
Yeah.
Maybe he's deflated. That's the symbolism of it. But I liked it when it was a little more like
You're
emphasis on the mohawk.
You're a product guy or product lady on guys.
Yeah, I like it. Well, you know, good styling is good on anybody.
For sure.
And grooming his beard. Always, that's the other thing. People on adventures and like whatever they're doing, questing, men or women, and everything looks perfectly groomed all the time. When did you step aside and go in the restroom and like, let me make sure everything's done. Let me get my curling iron. Let me get my clippers.
Right. I'm going to be on TV soon. Yeah.
So those were those. And something which I think we're kind of looking into season 2 is, so for season 1, and I'm assuming season 2 they did a similar way, they shot out of order because then you could accommodate so many actors.
Correct.
That's how they were able to get so many of those amazing big actors for season 1. And I think for season 2 it'll be interesting to see how they... Yes, we are going to miss some of those big actors. So many people commented on the last video that, miss, Kirsten Chenoweth and Gillian Anderson of like, yes, those were such great actors and like those characters. But I'm really excited to see who we'll get for this season.
Yeah.
And even like new media, which kind of makes sense the way they've done it of technology saying, hey, these characters you're referencing, those are old. What is new media, digital media today, which feels so much more current? Because also this book was written like 20 years ago that that kind of media didn't exist the same way as today. So it's like, I'm so excited to see how they go with that.
20 years has gone a long time. I saw the James Bond movie, Tomorrow Never Dies. And that was about media, and that was like already dated. But it was cool what you said about the scheduling. So it's almost like you ever think of American Gods as a giant 10-hour movie.
Yes.
And then schedule your actors around that. So many moving parts. And the VFX team probably works overtime, right?
And mad props to all the actors, too, of having to shoot it out of order in your arc of your character and everything.
Yeah.
It's like, also technology. I'm all there he is. Bruce Langley, technical boy. I want to say technology because that's what I think of more about. Technical. For him, like in the book, he's described a little bit more like your stereotypical overweight hacker, pimply hacker in the basement, But technology is different today.
Yeah.
That's not like your image of like that backdoor hacker of I'm going to take over the world and whatever.
Right.
So this is, I like that they changed for him.
Instagram influencer look. Totally understand.
And also all of his auditions were digital.
That makes sense.
Because he was in England and that kind of was fitting for his character.
Right. I will send it to you via secure link.
And some of the characters too, which I'm glad we're seeing in this season and in 1, is how they were maybe smaller characters in the book, but they're so enjoyable to watch that they've made their characters bigger roles, such as Sweeney and Laura, which I'm like, let's see more of these people. And the other thing too, which let me know, comment down below, what do you think? And Flobo, how do you feel about this? The fun thing about these characters is it's 2 assholes being assholes to each other. You're like, yes, I love watching them. They're like the mad, horrible couple that you're like, that's why they're so fun to watch.
I feel like in another movie or another time, they'll just be the ones with the sledgehammers breaking up property, Like, they totally are a fit for each other. And I guess as we talk more and more, I'm like, maybe I do want to ship them more and more and more because they're perfect for each other.
Yeah, because they're just so horrible. But that's why I think I like them together, because they are just so horrible. It's like, you guys deserve each other.
Right. Yes. Even Wednesday knows, like, you two do that thing.
You go on your own quest.
Right.
Who, he, as our preview for next time, is like, he has more faith in Shadow than Mom. We'll see. Yes. All right, let's do predictions.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
And also, side note, hope you enjoyed our special segment. We'll do more, like, extras next time.
Yeah.
So, what are some of your predictions?
You touched upon this a little earlier, I really think Shadow and Laura are going to talk about their relationship and how it's evolving and changing, especially now he's gone back in time and see how his major female influence has impacted his life. I think he has a bit new perspective.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
He's someone who has been violent in his own life, definitely not to the extent of killing people the way she has, But I want them to maybe address that some of the people involved aren't really regular people. Not that that makes it better or worse, but it's not like normal day-to-day regular people. That's a different... It's a bigger scale, too. Of like, so I do think they're going to have their chit-chat. I wonder, though, if maybe new media... who we haven't met yet, which it seems like that'll be for next time, I hope. It's one of those trailers always mislead you. You're like, wait, is that really next time?
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if she could connect with the old gods, because on last week someone had mentioned how, you know, movies today showcase old gods, so it's not like the old gods are gone. Like, maybe we don't believe in them, but it's not like we've forgotten. We know these characters. We know, you know, mythology. So I wonder if media could come over to the old god side.
Wow.
Like, could we get any new gods to come over to old god
So
side?
like they're setting up like Bill Quiz being the X Factor, but like media.
Maybe it'd be like, just kidding, curveball from out of left field.
That would be cool if they had the swap, right? Like,
maybe.
They're going over. That'd be kind of cool to watch.
See.
Yeah.
What are your theories? And no spoilers if you've read the book. And then again, the other thing, too, the book is different from the show enough that you won't feel like, you know, everything that's going to happen, which I think is great.
Yeah.
Because this show is so involved with Neil Gaiman, which is so wonderful that the author's involved, but not like, it's my property, but more, you know.
Let it breathe.
No, that wouldn't work. Or, like, one of the things, speaking of Mr. Wednesday, they wanted to put him, I know we already did special wanted to have him travel the world, and Gaiman's like, no, he's in America,
right?
So it has to be there. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm really curious to see where this show will update to our world today. So yes,
sure,
awesome. Yes.
Shout out to the chat.
Oh yes, real quick. Go ahead.
Oh, Adam Morales says we forgot about Jen and Salim.
True. They do. That's a very good point. They have a very quick storyline. They're gonna go on an adventure together because Salim's like, I believe in you. I want to go with you.
Yeah.
And they're also the other couple of ship, and I'm so excited for them to be together.
Says a lot when Jen's like, all right, come on.
He goes, fine, I guess so.
I guess. Here's your helmet.
Yes. Where is it? They're gonna go to Itami and Gungear. Get the spear.
Yeah.
So, I'm curious where that goes. Thank you very much for reminding us. Thank you again for watching, listening. Make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button. iTunes, give the 5 stars because, 1 through 4 don't work. We want your prayers and adoration because we've got to lift up the gods.
Yeah, for sure.
And we'll be
Where can they find you online, Kari?
Thank you. No, yes, where can you find me online is on Twitter and Instagram, Kari D Lane, that's KaridLane. And Flobo, where can they find you?
Yes, on Twitter at FloboBoys, on Instagram at FloBito, and at FloBito.com.
Nice. And we will see you all next week.
Hashtag old gods.
Yeah.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.